Don't expect any changes in North Carolina's abortion law, at least not right now. But come the November elections, that could change.
If they were to get a supermajority, I would anticipate a full-out abortion ban becoming the law of the land in North Carolina without exceptions.
Or if you do pick up a supermajority, do you anticipate, would you like to see further action on the abortion front here?
I personally would, but that will be a decision that we'll make as a caucus and as a team. But yes, personally, I certainly would.
Speaker Tim Moore issued a statement today saying there's not enough time left in the short session, which is scheduled to end next week, to take any action on abortion. But he added, quote, North Carolinians can expect pro-life protections to be a top priority of the legislature when we return to our normal legislative session in January. Senator Berger wants a Republican-backed law banning abortion after 20 weeks put back on the books. It was enjoined by the court because it conflicted with Roe v. Wade.
I absolutely don't believe we'll see those changes in North Carolina. First, because I am hoping my Republican colleagues don't offer such a legislation that would prevent our women from making their own decisions.
Democrats say they don't see abortion legislation moving forward as long as Governor Cooper has veto power. Republicans agree. Do you see North Carolina getting more aggressive in its enforcement of the abortion law?
Not as long as Governor Cooper is in control, unless we have supermajorities. But as long as he's governor, he would certainly stop anything that we tried to do.
But our citizens need to understand that that's up to them. It's up to them to make sure we maintain the type of legislators who believe that women have the right to make their own decisions.
Well, I think that many people misunderstand what Roe overturning means. A lot of people think abortion is going to be banned, and that's not true at all.
But the law could change, and abortion rights will likely drive voters to the polls come November.
It puts front and center, what's at stake in this election. And I think it will motivate both sides. If Republicans fail to pick up a supermajority in November, their best chance to make changes in the abortion law will likely come in 2024. Governor Cooper's name will no longer be on the ballot, creating an open seat for governor, a seat that is up for grabs. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Bill, thank you. And within the last half hour, Republican legislative leaders are now calling on Democratic Attorney General Josh Stein to reinstate North Carolina's 20-week abortion ban. That ban has not been enforceable since a ruling in another state that struck down the law because of Roe v. Wade. Here in North Carolina, abortions are legal with a 72-hour waiting period. The Woman's Right to Know Act also requires women to be informed about the methods and medical challenges and any other information related to abortions. With today's ruling, Republican lawmakers may try to pass a new law banning abortions, but they currently lack the votes to override a veto by Governor Roy Cooper, as Bill just explained in his piece. With today's Supreme Court decision, more states are going to have limited access to abortions. The states shaded in blue on this map will still have legal access to abortions, including Virginia. States in red will not. States in gold have restricted abortion laws, including ours right here in North Carolina. In other news on this Friday, Winston-Salem police say a shooting suspect is now in custody. Jackie Jones is charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. According to investigators, he got into an argument with a woman last Saturday inside a car on Solomon Drive. That's near the Quality Mart convenience store. The argument continued outside of the car. That's when officers say Jones shot her in the arm and the torso before running away. Police say Jones did turn himself in. That happened today. His bond is now set at $1 million. More crime on this Friday. High Point police are following up on leads after a shooting that left a woman dead in the city. Officers responded to Quibane Avenue near Forest Street last night on a shooting call. When they got there, they found 42-year-old Christina Malicote with gunshot wounds. She later died as a result of her injuries at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist in Winston-Salem. Right now, police say they do not have any suspects. The Rowan County Sheriff's Office has identified a man who was shot and killed by a deputy. Officials say a deputy responded to a vehicle that had crashed into a tree. This happened last night on Rock Springs Drive down in Salisbury. When emergency crews got there, they were confronted by 46-year-old Stephen Ray Johnson, they say, who was armed with a knife. Investigators say Johnson then confronted the deputy who shot and killed him. The sheriff's office says the incident was captured on body camera, and a preliminary review shows the shooting was, in their view, justified. Right now, that deputy is on administrative leave while the SBI and the sheriff's office both look into the particulars of what happened. Still ahead on a busy News Friday, friends and family members of the victims of the Surfside condo collapse gather to remember loved ones. Plus, a Good Samaritan helps police take down a suspect. How those officers are thanking one man for his assistance.
And we've had plenty of heat today. Again, we're in the low to mid 80s. Your shower and storm chances out there for folks, again, limited. We'll talk more about these seasonable summer conditions. It's coming up.
We are back on this Friday. Winston-Salem police have arrested a man for child abuse after a child was found unresponsive. This happened back in 2020. Howard Moore is now facing multiple felony counts of child abuse. Back on June 15th, 2 years ago, officers answered a call of a young girl not breathing. This was on Conoke View Drive. The child was later identified as Nature Moore. First responders were able to restart her heart and her breathing, but little Nature never regained consciousness. She later died from her injuries. That happened this past May. Today marks 1 year since the deadly condo collapse down in Surfside, Florida. Today, family members of the victims remembered their loved ones publicly. A total of 98 people were killed when the building collapsed in the middle of the night. Those who died ranged in age from 1 to 92. Victims' families spoke about their loved ones during today's ceremony, which was attended by First Lady Jill Biden.
Luillo was 26 years old and a half when he died, when he passed away. I was blessed of raising him for 24 years. And he was my warrior and he's still my hero.
Just yesterday, a judge gave final approval to a $1 billion settlement for people who lost family members in the collapse and also condo owners. There are still questions about who exactly gets what. That mediation is set to begin in about a month. Well, the first major federal gun safety legislation in decades is now headed to the president's desk for his signature. Today, the House passed the bipartisan bill after the Senate approved it late last night. The bill includes millions of dollars for mental health, school safety, and also crisis intervention programs, along with incentives for states to add juvenile records to a national background check system. It also addresses what should happen if someone age 18 to 21 attempts to purchase a gun. A Texas police department is thanking a man who helped out an officer during a foot chase. This happened this past weekend, and the whole thing was caught on the officer's body camera. Matt Howerton spoke with the officers involved and also the Good Samaritan.
This is the last thing officers want to be doing in the Texas heat. Over the weekend, 2 cops in White Settlement got in a foot chase with this suspect who took off after the officers tried pulling him over for driving a stolen car.
The license plate was showing to be a stolen vehicle.
But during the chase, one of the officers starts tiring out while the other stays on the suspect's tail. Again, it's hot, and the gear these guys wear, it weighs over 20 pounds.
Sometimes, our cardio, some of us have better cardio than others.
What's up? Yeah.
But that's when Jimmy Davis, an ex-security guard, pulls up in this blue sedan.
I said, sir, so would you want to ride? He goes, yeah, man, let me get in.
The Good Samaritan saw the chase happening and offered a ride.
At the right place at the right time to help an officer.
I appreciate it.
The officer tells Davis where to go and catches up with fellow cop Samuel Brown, who's just about to get the cuffs on the guy.
And then I see Porter jump out of the car, and it's pretty funny. Well, I think he said something like taxi services here or something like that. You could probably hear it in the video.
Had to get a taxi, don't mind me.
And the story gets better.
Yeah, I was born with one arm.
Officer Brown here only has one arm. He's fresh out of the academy, a new hire, and this was his first foot chase.
Even through, some of the challenges that he's had in life, he's able to still perform in that role.
Just another day on the job.
Yeah.
With a little help.
I did what I had to do. I would do it again too, though.
And that was Matt Howerton reporting. The suspect, 31-year-old Joshua Taylor Brown, is now facing 3 felony charges. Police say the stolen vehicle was returned to its rightful owner. All right, let's talk about our forecast now. It is Friday. The weekend is just about here. Michelle is with us. It is a pool kind of a day. Another one, isn't it?
It is. I wanted to show this picture again. A lot of folks may not have seen it from last night. This is little Everly from Mount Airy, and Austin Kevin has sent this to me from Mike Ginteria Wall. Just a cutie pie, right? What a cute little baby out there for the pool days. We are looking at those temperatures in the 80s, of course, to near 90 over the next couple of days. So this is very seasonable for us. We don't have much in the way of changes other than those pop-up thunderstorms that we're seeing right now, trying to get going. Also to our north, you're going to see a couple along 220, and then a few that have been trying to get going out west of Allegheny County, northeastern Ashe County. So watching for 1 or 2 showers that may build for you this afternoon. Most folks are going to stay dry, though. We're at 86 degrees in Greensboro right now. So far, that's our high. 84 in Burlington, 84 Winston-Salem, 87 in Uptown Lexington. And highs so far are cooler than yesterday and even cooler than where we were at 96 for the hottest day of the year earlier in the week. At 103 would be the record to beat today. And pollen counts, well, we've still got them. So everything is seasonable for the weekend, right? We've got trees, grasses, and weeds at least reading in the moderate range. And then the storm chances building the later we go once we get the heat developing through the afternoon hours. So take a look at this. You can see heading into our evening hours, we're gradually dipping into the 70s to 60s tomorrow morning. And late tonight, maybe is still a shower lingering up in the mountains. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot out of those clouds, though. We'll try and squeeze out a little bit of rain, maybe about 0.05 of an inch for some. You can see Saturday morning, clouds mixing in. Possibility of a pop-up shower, really much better later in the day. And we've got you in the upper 80s to near 90 tomorrow. And Sunday, similar conditions. We should be able to reach into those low 90s. We've got more thunderstorm possibilities first in the mountains west and western foothills. Rain chances there up to about 30%. We head into your afternoon on Sunday in the Triad, and we should see those low 90s with thunderstorm possibilities developing the later we go through your Monday. Cold front is coming, and as that cold front comes in, it's going to bring in some good measurable rainfall, it looks like. For now, we've been in in between systems. That ridge of high pressure at the surface building again after we had a nice stretch of dry air move through, so not a lot to work with aloft. Something to look at though tomorrow morning. If you're up early, we're going to be able to see the International Space Station. You're going to notice that this is almost right overhead, so very high maximum height for this system. Rolling overhead, you're going to be able to see the ISS. A 6-minute pass, not bad, southwest to northeast. That is if you're up at 5:06 in the morning, so we have to wait on that. Or if you're an early riser, it'll be a perfect time for you. It'll feel cool too in those low to mid 60s. Look at the storm front as we talk about Sunday into Monday. It builds first from west to east, and it might take its time getting here Monday night. So Tuesday morning, we could actually see a couple of lingering showers possible in the Triad. I think most folks though are going to dry out fairly quickly, and a few lingering clouds can only help to keep us a little bit cooler. Take a look at the beaches out there. You see Nags Head, Emerald Isle, Myrtle Beach dry for the weekend, a little hotter down along the Myrtle Beach and Wrightsville Beach area. And then we head east as we talk about with those dew points too, coming up into the 60s at the beach. You're going to feel humid, and look at beach water temperatures still on the chilly side. You know, we're just starting really the heat of the season. And Wrightsville 80 degrees, Myrtle Beach 81 in the surf there. Mountain temperatures for you this weekend. We've got a rain chance of 20% on Saturday, Sunday, a 40% chance, and better chances down in the southern mountains for you through Linville Falls and Asheville. Right now, just a couple of isolated showers trying to get going right over our mountains as we look out toward Globe and just south of Boone area. You've got 89 degrees on your Saturday, 91 Sunday. Impact day still Monday with temperatures taking a little bit of a dip. I like the low 80s any time of the year. Taking a look at upper 80s though toward the end of next week.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Let's get a first check on traffic on this Friday. Nobody wants a delay to their weekend, and so far, if Highway 66 in Kernersville is part of the mix for you or a loved one, you are in good shape. Is Facebook pumping you full of lies when it comes to gasoline? The myths you might have heard and whether there's any truth to them. Plus, a slithery surprise sets a new record. Oh boy, we'll let you know what's going on with this big fella or big lady, I'm not sure. That's next. This is WXII 12 News at 4 o'clock. Well, this next one sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood film. Biologists in the Everglades in Florida caught what they say was the largest Burmese python in state history, and that's saying something. It is a female snake. It is nearly 18 feet long and weighs 215 pounds. But that's not all. Wildlife officials there say it was found with 122 developing eggs, and in its stomach, bobcat claws.
Our mission is to protect water, land, and wildlife. Well, if we have a wildlife hospital recovering thousands of animals a year, but they're just being released to be eaten by pythons, you can see the Conservancy's interest in getting to the root cause of the problem.
Python was caught over the winter. Biologists say they used a smaller male snake fitted with a transmitter, which led to the massive female. We're back in just a moment. This is WXII 12 News at 4 o'clock.
From WXII 12 News, this is breaking news.
We have breaking news out of Washington, D.C. There is no longer a federal constitutional right to abortion here in this nation. The landmark ruling today from the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade has led to immediate reaction, and it is emotional. Karen Caifa has the story this afternoon from outside the Supreme Court in D.C.
Roe v. Wade is no more after the court issued an historic opinion Friday overturning the landmark decision that stood for nearly 50 years.
We trust women. We won't go back.
The decision laid out in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, written by Justice Samuel Alito, finds that there is no longer a federal constitutional right to an abortion. Alito wrote in part, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. The three dissenting judges, Kagan, Sotomayor, and Breyer, warn that this decision will have a wide-ranging impact on women across the country, writing, whatever the exact scope of the coming laws, one result of today's decision is certain: the curtailment of women's rights and of their status as free and equal citizens. At least 24 states are now in position to ban abortion, which could lead to a number of future legal showdowns.
It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom.
Conservatives like former Vice President Mike Pence commending the justices for, quote, having the courage of their convictions. President Joe Biden, meanwhile, had this to say.
The only way we can secure a woman's right to choose, the balance that existed, is for Congress to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade as federal law.
Outside the Supreme Court, I'm Karen Kafa.
How lawmakers react to overturning Roe v. Wade is something that voters will ultimately consider during the next election. Congressman and Republican Senate candidate Ted Budd released this statement saying the Supreme Court decision was correct in his view. He added, quote, "It is a victory for the millions of unborn children who may now realize the most fundamental of all human rights, the right to life." His opponent, Democrat Cheri Beasley, sending a completely different message this afternoon. She posted on Twitter calling the decision dangerous, adding that she knows reproductive freedom is a constitutional right in her view. The Supreme Court is meant to be one of the most trusted institutions in the entire country, but a new Gallup poll reveals that is not necessarily the case anymore. The poll shows a record low number of Americans have confidence in the high court. Just 25% have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in justices. That is down 11 percentage points from the last time that this poll was conducted, which was this time last year. And on a day that the Supreme Court overturned Roe, the Biden administration unveiled a plan to overhaul maternal health for women, mothers, and families. The White House is calling on Congress to require continuous Medicaid coverage for 12 months postpartum. Other efforts include establishing a 24-hour maternal mental health hotline and also establishing more diverse health teams in hospitals to support women during pregnancy. Looking ahead, a weekend blood drive in honor of a former Triad firefighter is happening. This is going on at the Union Cross Fire Department from 11 tomorrow morning till 3:30 in the afternoon. Rachel Ellis spoke with Chad Green's father about what this drive means to the family and to the community.
Well, today is Chad Green's birthday, and tomorrow people are asked to come out and give blood to share in the memory of the former firefighter. We're told that he was passionate about donating blood and saving lives. Wayne Green, Chad's father, says his son passed away on November 4th, 2009 from an aneurysm at just 34 years old. Wayne says his son was a firefighter for the city of High Point, as well as the deputy chief at the Union Cross Fire Department, where the blood drive is planned for tomorrow. And Wayne tells us giving blood was Chad's way of giving back after learning how blood donations helped his own recovery from a surgery as a child. And Wayne says Chad never met a stranger, that he's proud of him today. He explained what it's like to witness the community come out year after year to support Chad and his legacy.
You can see the firefighters come in to, they know what it's like when they go on call, and then they know that the patients are going to need blood, or if they have a house fire and then Red Cross shows up. It's amazing to us the response that we get every year, and it's not just to honor Chad, which is great, but just to honor his memory and keep it alive.
And in order to schedule an appointment, head to redcrossblood.org and enter the sponsor code Chad Green Memorial, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Again, the blood drive is happening here at the Union Cross Fire Department from 11 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. In Kernersville, Rachel Ellis, WXII 12 News.
Rachel, thank you. Taking a look at some of our other top stories on this Friday. Police in Winston-Salem say a shooting suspect is now in custody. Jackie Jones is charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. According to investigators, he got into an argument with a woman last Saturday inside a car on Solomon Drive. This was near the Quality Mart convenience store. That argument continued outside of the car, and that's when officers say Jones shot her in the arm and torso before running away. Police say Jones turned himself in earlier today. His bond is now set at $500,000. The Rowan County Sheriff's Office has identified a man who was shot and killed by a deputy. Investigators say 46-year-old Stephen Ray Johnson confronted deputies and emergency workers who were responding to a car crash last night in Salisbury. That's when the deputy shot and killed Johnson. The Sheriff's Office says the incident was captured on body camera, and a preliminary review shows the shooting was justified. Right now, the deputy is on administrative leave, while the State Bureau of Investigation and the Sheriff's Office both conduct an investigation to see what happened. All right, let's talk about our forecast now. Meteorologist Michelle Kennedy is in for us on this Friday. And I tell you what, if you are not at it right now, this is cruel, showing people a shot of the beach while they are still at work on a Friday. Hopefully, maybe you are headed to the beach right now. Gorgeous, gorgeous day to be out there. Just like has been the case for the last few days, be sure to load up on that SPF, Michelle.
Oh, definitely. You know, the hats, the sunshades. I actually have a sun umbrella that I keep in my car.
That's smart. It's almost as if you work in weather. It's almost as if you know these things.
Sometimes I can't find my umbrella, though. I don't know how that works, right?
Maybe don't admit that publicly.
Maybe not. We've got the hot weather, though, for you, and those isolated shower and storm chances. I don't think we're going to need a whole lot of umbrella use over the next couple of days. It's Monday, and you need to have those rain jackets ready to go, and umbrellas, especially if you're at the bus stop and trying to get into work. You're going to see those thunderstorm possibilities more likely by then. Until then, we've got these summertime pop-ups, and this is what we would typically expect this time of the year. We're under a ridge of high pressure. It keeps us nice and hot. It'll also bring in the sunshine for us, at least in the early part of the days. So we're on that side of the ridge of high pressure as it slides east, that we could get some clouds rolling in and lifting some of that moisture along the mountains. And that's what we're seeing tonight, just north of Martinsville. A couple of showers there, and one or two that have been just hanging out right overhead in northeastern areas of Ashe County, trying to make it into Allegheny. I don't think it's going to do it. We don't have a lot of lightning tonight, too, so that's good news for folks. 85 degrees Winston-Salem. Have not seen our high yet come in officially in Greensboro. We'll see that shortly in the next hour. 86 degrees, though, in Burlington, to 87 uptown Lexington. Typically 87 this time of the year, so very seasonable conditions going right into the weekend. We talked about those moderate pollen counts. Now, the trees are starting to come down just a little bit for us. They've been cedar and juniper responding, and now grasses and weeds, well, can't get rid of that, but you notice the grass is really getting brown out there. We are dry, and abnormally dry, and getting worse for folks in central parts of the Triad. So we could use that rain, and it looks like Monday's still going to be the best chance here. The thunderstorms that are going to try to develop late even into early tomorrow morning, maybe a shower or two. We'll talk a little bit more about that and break down your beach and mountain forecast too.
Michelle, thank you very much. We've learned the wife of longtime North Carolina 4th District Congressman David Price died today after a battle with cancer. Lisa Price founded the advocacy group North Carolinians Against Gun Violence and also served as its executive director until she retired in 2007. She also advocated for civil rights, environmental protection, animal welfare, and a number of other causes. Lisa Price was 82 years old. A man in the western part of our state says he owes his life to his dog after that dog saved him from a black bear. Billy Green says he sees bears almost every single day near his home in Buncombe County, and usually there's no issue with the big creatures. But one morning he was taking his dogs out, and one bear didn't leave after he tried to scare it off. Green says the bear charged at him, pinning him between his car and his home. He says what his dog Shayla did next just might have saved his life.
When the bear came at me the first time, it was about a foot away from me. She jumped, and when the bear jumped back, it was trying to swipe at her, but she got the bear down the bank.
Green says he plans to get bear spray and also to be more cautious in the future. Coronavirus vaccines saved about 20 million lives in the first year that they were available. That is according to a new large-scale study published today on the impact of vaccination programs here in the U.S. It also found up to 600,000 additional lives could have been saved if the World Health Organization's goal of vaccinating 40% of each country's eligible population by the end of 2021 had been met, which it was not. StarMed is helping out parents here in the Piedmont Triad impacted by the baby formula shortage. It's holding a baby formula giveaway, which is happening tomorrow. That'll go on at the Four Seasons Town Center in Greensboro. It's going to run from 11 in the morning until 7 in the evening or until supplies run out. Formula will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis. All right, let's get another check on traffic now. It's 4:40, almost 4:41 here on your Friday, and we are not seeing any delays in this part of the Piedmont Triad. A little slow and go on the right here. Wyatt, can you give me an idea which road we are looking at right here? Salem Parkway at 66. That is in Kernersville, if memory serves. DOT not reporting any crashes, just a lot of folks ready to get home and be done with the work week and start their weekend. Well, there are plenty of myths out there right now about ways to save on gasoline. We'll look at which ones are true and which ones are, frankly, just a big waste of your time. And we have a warning from Apple and Android phone users. The flaw, it could expose your device and potentially your wallet to hackers. You're watching WXII 12 News at 4 o'clock.
Stay connected to the news you need, Triad. Get local stories, breaking news, and weather right here on the WXII 12 News app. Download it today.
Rent increases and the tight housing market are impacting mobile home prices as well. Mobile homes are considered a source of affordable housing. They make up about 6% of all U.S. residences. And right now, a lot of people are considering that. That's driving up demand with a low supply. When it comes to a percentage basis, mobile homes costs, they've gone up even more than the broader housing market. According to the Washington Post, new homes are up about 22%. Over that same time period, mobile home prices have jumped 50%. As gas prices continue to hit levels that we have not seen ever before, just about everybody is looking for a way to save a few bucks. And it seems our Facebook feeds are filled with all kinds of advice, but some of the things are worth it and some of them don't save you anything. Abigail Ogle asked the experts to separate fact from fiction.
Everyone's trying to find new ways to save at the pump, but not everything you hear is true. The first claim we're looking into, fill up your tank in the morning. Matt Skinner with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission said it's a good thing to do, but it might not save you money.
Filling up your vehicle early in the morning is a good idea because it helps mitigate the risk of adding to an ozone problem within your city. It's good for the environment and it helps keep more expensive mandates at bay if you do fill up in the morning.
The second claim, don't squeeze the nozzle to fast mode.
It is true that you'll minimize vapors, maybe to a degree if it's measurable, but no, there's no evidence that that would save you any money at the pump.
Another claim we've been seeing, filling up your tank when it's already half full.
No, that is a myth. Now, if it was 50 years ago, it would be true. Whether or not it would really save you much money.
Skinner did have one piece of advice, something you might be doing without even realizing it, and it costs you more money.
When you're filling up your tank and you have the nozzle locked and it's doing the fill up and it clicks off, don't try to top off your tank. If you simply let the pump do its job, it clicks off, take it out, don't try to top off anymore, you will see at least some savings.
Says if you're really concerned, it may not just be about the pumps, but rather about the way that you drive. Try to slow down. That can make a big difference in your overall efficiency. Well, speaking of, here's a look at where gas prices are right now. According to AAA, North Carolina's average is $4.56, which is still high, but it's actually down a little bit. Piedmont Triad is a few cents cheaper than that, and the national average is $4.92. Wasn't that long ago the national average was above $5. Google says spyware has been used to hack Apple and Android phones in Italy and also Kazakhstan. The tech giant says the Italian company RCS Lab is behind hacking tools that spy on devices' private messages and also contacts. Google says it has alerted users and has taken steps to protect them. Apple so far has not reacted to this report. RCS Lab says its products and services do comply with European rules and are used to help law enforcement agencies investigate crime. Twitter unveiled a new feature it's testing for long-form writing. It's called Notes, and it allows users